When I entered the school, Sisters of Notre Dame, I assumed I'd be in a school and be a teacher for most of my life or all of my life. At the time, I know I didn't know a quote from Mother Teresa, our foundress, who said, "When we go out into the whole world, into the smallest villages, and into the poorest dwelling places, we'll go wherever we are called to bring the good news of the reign of God." But I think I had that concept in my mind that we would go out into, well, maybe the smallest villages. However, when I went to the biggest city in the whole world, New York, and into the Brooklyn to be exact. And I taught high school mathematics for a number of years. However, as time went on, things began to change. We had a Vatican Council, we had a Vietnam War, and life became a little different. So in my mind, I was hearing to put an emphasis on working with the poor, or making the concerns of the poor our own. There were all kinds of expressions of that nature. Also talking about the immigrants. And of course, in Brooklyn, there were many, many immigrants, particularly from Latin America. Somewhere along the line, our provincial and other provincials too here in the States were establishing a human relations committee, and I was asked to be a part of that. And we focused on poverty, war, and race. So again, there was education. What does that all mean? What do you do about poverty? What do you do about war? What do you do about race? So again, my mind was moving away somewhat from mathematics, from the X's and the Y's. So after several years of working on Long Island, or ministering on Long Island with the Central Americans, I was asked to be our first NGO representative at the United Nations. So for about 10 years, or almost 10 years, I was there. And at the time, it was when many of those world conferences were going on social development, and the Fourth World Conference on Women, on financing for development, on and also the conference on racism. Back in 1987, the document that came from our general chapter at that time talked about bringing the good news through contemplation, our charism, and our experience. And so I think that then motivated me to put together the contemplative life and the prayer life together with why do we have these crises in our world. And so now in 2012 we have the document Love Cannot Wait that talks about looking at the social, economic, and ecological crises of our times and the divisions that are in our world. And it also says to deepen the contemplative and prophetic part of our lives. So I think that that's what has evolved within me since my days as a math teacher, that have gone from through those various steps of looking at the justices and the injustices,